You're good. You're good.
Okay.
Hey, it's Chris with Lauren Automotive Group. I'm here with my partner Bailey. We've got a GT3 RS here. Bailey, what's the biggest difference between a standard GT3 and a GT3 RS?
Yeah, we'll start with the motor. This is a 4-liter, whereas the base GT3 is a 3.8 liter. This yields about 15 more horsepower at exactly 500 horsepower, and I think it's about 338 foot-pounds of torque.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's got more mid-range torque than a 3.8.
Yep, and since we're talking about how it puts the power down, the transmission is almost identical. They're both the 7-speed PDK dual clutch. This is geared a little bit more towards the track.
Okay. You know, one thing that's really sticking out at me is the way this one sits. Why does this look wider to me?
It is wider. This shares the same tub as the turbo car, whereas the base GT3 is more narrow in the rear and front fenders. This one's a lot more wider, which I think makes the whole look of the car.
I see. Okay, and why? I heard this one's a little bit lighter. What can you tell me about the lightweight features of the RS?
Yeah, with the GT3 RS, I think it's about 22 pounds lighter than the base GT3. You get that from getting a magnesium roof, carbon fiber trunk lid, carbon fiber hood, and then the aero kit throughout the body where they cut it up a little bit adds a little bit less weight right there.
Okay, okay. Now, question in regards to the way the wheels and tires are set up. I'm noticing some diameter differences between the two. What can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so with the GT3 RS, you get a staggered wheel setup, 20s in the front, 21s in the rear. Compared to the base GT3 car, those are just 20s all around. Most of the time you see these cars with the Sport Cup 2s, Michelin Sport Cup 2s, whereas with the GT3 RS exclusively, you have the option to upgrade those to the Cup 2Rs, which you can see on this car here. Just a little bit more performance, a little bit stickier tire. The GT3 today is double, $400,000 to $500,000. Now, ultimately, you get a lot more tech, and it is a lot faster car. Way wider, totally different design, brand new to the market, but at the end of the day, it's the same name. And just being completely honest, this is a biased opinion. I like how this car looks a lot more than the brand new 992 that Porsche is making right now today. I even like this more than the facelift, so you've heard me say the 991.1.
Yeah, so you lose me on all that.
Yeah, I mean, that's where the P-car enthusiast in me comes out. I truly do love these cars, because these cars are crazy purpose-driven, right? Whereas like M cars, yeah, those are track cars, but how many M car drivers are taking those cars to the track? A lot of these guys, Porsche buyers, especially new Porsche buyers, they're wanting a car that they can drive to the track and then take to the office the next day. And that's just beautiful to me. Like, this car is so purpose-driven.
Bailey, what makes consigning a car with Loren Automotive different from the rest?
It's you and me. That's what makes it different. It's Chris and I. Chris, how long you been in the car business?
So I've been in the business 25 years. I was in the business during school and college, and I got my start with BMW almost 20 years. I wrote service and was a service manager for part of the 8.5 years I was in the service department. And then I switched over to finance, and then I became a sales manager. It's been a wild ride, and this has always been a dream. And I couldn't have done it without you.
Oh man.
And we're excited to be a part of this together. And we're gonna put dreams into driveways, I think is what we used to talk about at BMW. But we're glad to buy, sell, consign. We're glad to be here. And if anybody needs anything, call Bailey.
602-488, just like the Ferrari, 8399, baby. Call me, text me, whatever you need. I've been in this business coming on 8 years now. I'm 26. I've done this since I was 18. I interviewed with Toyota when I was 17, and they sent me right back out the door, said come back in 3 months. On my birthday, I knocked on the door, interviewed, and got the job. And I've had an accelerated career. You've seen most of it. I've gone from salesperson to internet manager, internet director, finance manager, sales manager to general sales manager. I've opened 2 independent locations now with the owners of those locations. I've just been so blessed to see how the whole operation works. And about a year ago, I had the opportunity to open up my own spot. I just wasn't ready. And by the time Chris called me, I'd finally put that last piece, into the puzzle, and that's this: consignments. Consignments is the best for you, and it's way easier for me, right? If you have a car you're wanting to sell on the private market, whether it's an exotic vehicle, a classic vehicle. If it's even an SUV, I've got a beautiful Alfa Romeo just sitting behind the camera. Whatever it is, we can help. And the three biggest reasons why we can help and that you can use to your advantage, the first one being that we take trade-ins, right? You don't want to trade. You don't want to trade no matter what it is. You want to get rid of that car and get your next one. The second being that we provide financing, right? We open up the market to cash and finance buyers. If you go and you put that car up on Facebook Marketplace, somebody's not going to be able to get a check from their bank because ultimately the bank doesn't trust you, the seller. The bank trusts me and Chris because we've got a facility, we PDI the cars, we inspect them, we recondition them with whatever they need. And then ultimately the last one is, I've done this 8 years, Chris has done this over 2 decades, together we've nearly done this 30 years. You've got real professionals on your side that don't want to do anything else except for sell your car.